Word of God, if we will turn to Isaiah, the 43rd chapter. We're going to begin with verse 18. Well-known scripture, one of your pastor's favorite, that from time to time, not just you, but I need to hear it again. Isaiah 43, verse 18. When you get it, say, still saved. I know my electronic Bible people are already there. And for them, I say the NIV version. Amen. But Isaiah 43, beginning with verse 18. Still saved? All right, I need some more still savers. Isaiah 43, verse 18. Still saved? Still saved. Amen. All right. So I'm going to read, and then you follow with me. Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I'm doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I'm making a way in the wilderness, streams in the wasteland. The wild animals honor me, the jackals and the owls. Because I provide water in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland, to give drink to my people, my chosen, the people I formed for myself, that they may proclaim my praise. Lord, add a blessing to the reading and to the hearing of his holy, holy word. Our sermonic theme is don't fear the new thing. Don't fear the new thing. I like to tell the story or stories of my mishaps and misapplications. My dad, he quoted somebody, I never knew who he quoted, but he said, the tragedy of youth is that it's wasted on the young. Amen. I feel that so much right now. Amen. You have a pastor that will be turning 49 this year, which is I know my folks are clapping in mockery. Amen. But my kids think I'm just over the hill. Amen. It is funny because I was on a field trip with my son this week, and the parents could have been my kids. Amen. Calling me Mr. Davenport, you know. But look, we tell these things in order that they may be a learning experience. So let me be clear that when I got my Bachelor of Arts degree from Morehouse College in Atlanta, I was really feeling myself. And I figured that I needed to, and it was my responsibility to bring my cousins into the light of my knowledge. Amen. So it was my task to return to the south side of Chicago and teach my cousins a few things. Amen. They talked about me for years. I think I was the first one of them to wear glasses. Amen. Now they all got glasses. But I wanted to be able to teach them the arts of fine dining, and that I wanted to be able to share with them these cultural elevations in order that they wouldn't have the mindset of just the south side of Chicago. So the first thing I did, I wanted to take them to a fancy restaurant. At the time, for me, that was Red Lobster. Hey, your fancy is different than my fancy. Because we were tired of always going places and eating burgers and fries and hot dogs. And so there I was with my cousins, with my little money in the Red Lobster, and they going off on the waiter because there's no burger or fries. Now we in a seafood restaurant with new possibilities of dining, but my folks are still stuck on the old, right? And they're still focused on burgers and fries. Now, we have to be careful, especially for the church, that we break through a burger and fry mentality. Because it can be our desire to keep things consistently the same because it makes us feel comfortable. Right? Right? The reason, especially in Baptist church, right, when we call a pastor, the goal is to call a visionary. That's right. Because a church can stay stagnant, right, without a pastor. We begin to maintain and keep things the same. But when you call a visionary, because in whatever context you worship in, whoever the leader is should see something different than you. That's right. Come on, talk to me somebody. Because if the leader sees the same things as you, what good is the leader? Come on, talk to me somebody. Right. So that's it. But churches get caught up in the tension, right, of keeping it the same, keeping it consistent, no challenging of the now, right? Come on, let's keep the same preacher preaching. In fact, let's hold him against the previous pastor, right? So if he's not like them, right, then there'll be a criticism of him. Come on, talk to me somebody. Come on here, we'll leave the pastor alone. Let's keep the deacons the same, right? Let's keep it the same, right? And let's delve into the same in and same out in order that we can be consistent. Change is tough because it pulls at us, right? It pulls at us. And it challenges the very beliefs and operations that we have. And it's difficult because sometimes a person has got to move out the way in order that new vision and revelation can come. And not take it personally. Come on, talk to me somebody. I'm well aware that I'm going to have to be moved out the way someday. Amen. And have to not take it personally. Amen. I used to joke with my dad. You know, I said, Dad, your jokes are good now. But the new generation jokes gonna put you to shame. But I still can't light a room up like my dad can. Come on, talk to me somebody. So we have to be able to understand and self-evaluate ourselves, right? Because if we don't, you know, we should be our own worst critics. Because if we don't, right, then we'll stay the same, right? We'll keep the same. And same eventually dies out, right? Because that's where it stayed. Look. This young man murdered down here, Nipsey Hussle. I never listened to his. I didn't know much about him before, right? I didn't know, right? But now when they're going over the work and the community engagement of what he was doing. I was saying to myself, where is the church in this? Okay? We got folks of different gangs and whatever coming together and marching at the loss of this young man. Now again, because what can happen with church is that we become comfortable in the walls, right? Now, I'm going to say this here now. Something outside of these walls is very challenging. I never grew up thinking that marijuana was going to be legal. I never saw that one coming. I just didn't see it. I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I see it now though. Amen. We asked them, we working with kids in the criminal justice system, and we're like, look, do you have a drug problem? No, but I do smoke a lot of weed. Right? And so again, now we have the primary demographic now. Primary demographic that's coming into church, and you can look at at the membership of those who have been single mothers, right? Whether they were married, divorced, or never married at all. And I was going through the membership, at our last retreats, and I'm sure the dynamic of the couples who are not married, who are struggling, have been difficult reaching out to, right? And so again, we're seeing like a changing demographic, but we're trying to hold them, right, to what we knew and again, it's not that we can't still value it, but we also have to realize that we have to reach out to more than what is consistent with us. Right? Right. It was not that look, this church is not different than any other church anywhere. When I was growing up, we would see young men coming in. They would sit in the back of the church, and they had on old clothes and whatever. It wasn't until I got older that I realized they had just been released from prison. Right? So they was excited and hyped on the prison ministry and all the things that they have been, and was looking forward to getting out and finding a church home. And what received simply because of how they looked. They may not have sit in. I'm telling you, people with fire, they come in and sit on Deacon Row and don't even know they on Deacon Row. Come on, somebody. Somebody on fire may not know the correct discipline, the correct way to raise their hand in Sunday school or Bible study. But they on fire. And I tell you what, they maybe say more word than what you know. So it's that challenge here, church. And I believe now, church, that God is bringing a lot to our doorstep. Because in 7 years here, we done seen some stuff happen up in this town. Come on, talk to me, somebody. And I'm like, Lord, it must be my fault. Why it happened now? God is saying these are things you're going to have to deal with. Right? Because you're going to see this in a different light. Everybody not going to go to Garfield High School with you. Everybody not going to be a product of Franklin. Everybody not going to grow up with 3 or 4 blocks away. You got a demographic that's traveling in and out of you. Right? So it's a challenge now. We have to be careful whether we choose tradition over revelation. We become held hostage by tradition and the way we used to do it, right? The devil always changing his tactics, begun to define the times. Now, we don't want to be politically involved, but we get upset when the taxes increase on our properties. All right. Criminal justice system is killing our people, but you don't want to vote about the laws and the programs that are publicly funded. And this one hurts me the worst when we we raise up kids in here, give them scholarship money, send them to school, and they come back with new things, and we shut them down and say, wait your turn. Really? You didn't want to wait your turn? So now that's it now that's it now we have to be careful, especially within our power structure, right? Now put myself out there. I know, look, from day one, I know y'all laughed at me. I came in here with my color copy perspective. Y'all remember that stuff? I'm ready to get on the board with my markers. Y'all looking at me like, what is he doing, right? Give us a vision plan. My thing ended up being long with exhibits and all kinds of stuff. We ain't gonna read this. I'm too short with vision. I'm too long with vision. But look, when you have visionaries, look, it's tough. We putting everything down because we see so much. But you can't be afraid of vision. Then we end up like in the Bible, because Joseph's brothers were afraid of vision. That's right. Right? Now, do pastors need help on this? Yes. I come in here with vision. Yes, I do need somebody to tell me, Pastor, you need to pay the light bill. Yes. Talk to me, somebody. Come on. I grown some, deacon. I know I got it. Right? Pastor, these lights got to stay on now. Right? We had to put a bucket over here because a leak, a raining leak, when it was raining last week, a bucket full of water had to put over there. Right? Yes. But it doesn't have to be tensions, church. Right? We got to work it out and do it together. That's right. Okay? But you may have to be able to look at it in a different way. Come on, look. This scripture here now. The Israelites have reached a similar point in their history. Come on now, they've been exiled from their land. They become enslaved in an unfamiliar culture. They're crying out as their ancestors cried out for deliverance. But their issue is that they are seeking the same kind of deliverance that their ancestors received. They're looking for the Moses miracle. And Moses is dead. Hear me this. Moses is not just dead, they don't even know where they buried. Okay. Right? Some of us want to go to the cemetery. Right? We know where the grave is. Moses is dead, they don't even know where he's buried at. Right? So the image of that as a deliverer, right, has now overtaken this people, and that's what they're looking for. Send us a Moses. Right? Look here. When you look at verse 18, it says, remember not the former things, nor the things of old. Come on now. Now here lies, the modern church. We look for the past to deliver us. Right? And it's things in which we have to be able to take. You don't have a New Testament without an Old Testament. That's right. But please know the Old Testament is not complete without the New. That's right. They have to work it together now. Right. So again, now you have a different generational purpose. There is less a change, and there's less a difference in mentality between my generation and my mother, okay? But between me and my children, there's a huge difference. Why? They are media driven. Okay? I have one TV in my house. One TV. I'm not buying another one. Why? Because I got 2 phones and a tablet. Everybody can watch what they want to watch, right? On the phones, and my daughter got a phone, my son got a tablet, my wife got a phone, I got a TV, I'm the one that's out of date. Right? Okay, now you remember coming up, everybody had to watch the same thing? We had to watch the same thing? Come on, somebody. We had to watch the same thing. Now we're dealing with differences, right? Now you're dealing with different media that can take you different ways. We as parents now, we have to monitor this like we have never. When we all watch the same show, we can monitor it. But when you got 4 different shows going on, now you got to do it different. You know, we had this at our retreat. Pastor Miller, he said something because he was telling us about technology, but he was saying he was teaching us how to use it. And he said, don't demonize the tool, right? You can use the tool to work for you. Well, that requires what? Training and teaching, but not running from it, right? I tell you, I always take the story, of my dad. He refused to learn how to type. He refused. My dad could write them yellow legal pen. I still got stacks of his stuff, them long yellow tablets. That was his thing. He could write, his writing was neat, he could do all of that. But for him to continue to work in the Chicago public school system as a social worker, he had to type his reports into a database. He just went ahead and retired. I said, Dad, you ain't working no more? No, son. I ain't doing that typing thing. And he ran out of money and he kept paying people to type his stuff. Right? It changed. Now, is this idea of social work and all that, grassroots, going into prison, homeless? Yes, still pertinent. But you have a new avenue that's attached to it that can help and can assist it. Right? Now, here you come now. Now, when we see that here now, God is saying, look, I will do a new thing. The Israelites, they were guilty of trying to fight Babylon by using Pharaoh tactics. Egypt wasn't even a strong enemy at this time. Babylon was a different enemy. Look, Pharaoh was an arrogant man who believed that he could subdue the Hebrews by illustrating that he had more power. Look, your staff can make a snake. My staff can make a snake. He was arrogant. God used his arrogance against him. And next thing you know, you got thousands of people that's headed to the promised land. Babylon was a different enemy, church. Come on. They understood the power of God. They tried to weaken the people by creating a barrier between them and their God. They passed laws. Now, this was Babylon that said, look here, if you pray to him, if you pray to your God, we'll kill you. Right? That was their thing. Like, we understand now, you got a God. We recognize it. But what we're saying is that if you pray to him, we'll kill you. It's a different enemy. It's a different enemy. Right? So now that's why verse 20, it's huge for our understanding. Look, the Lord is going to have wild animals who are beholding to nothing. Okay. They now going to honor him. Okay. The Lord's going to irrigate the desert in order to get water and sustenance to his people. God was saying to Babylon or any captive that whatever you do, I will sustain my people under your teeth. Right. Where Egypt was about to break out and get the people out, God's saying, while my people here, we're going to take you over. We're not going to lose our will. You see that with the 3 Hebrew boys in the fiery furnace. Okay? Right. Look here. If you place one of mine in the lion's den, I'm going to deliver. Okay. Come on, these are miracles from the time. Right? Now it's a world that's set out there to make us and break the relationship between us and God. That's right. Come on. We still walking in the hospitals and seeing people getting healed. Okay? We seeing people who have been stricken with cancer who are living past the time that they should have been living. You gonna tell me miracles ain't happening? They're happening all the time. Come on, we seeing felons coming out and starting their own businesses. We seeing young men like this man who was murdered. They'd be doing community activism and setting up stores in order that he can help the people who was there with him when he was struck. You gonna tell me miracles ain't happening, that God is not still on the throne? Look here, behold, I'm gonna do a new thing. Come on, people still looking. Come on, part the Red Sea. Bro, we got a bridge over the Red Sea. So here's the challenge now. Now, even today, now, we're going to take communion. Communion is what? That's the new thing, right? Christ is coming now. Christ comes and he sets the world on fire. He changes the clock. He changes the calendar. Now it is before Christ and after the death of Christ. That's just how powerful his presence is in human history. But look what he does. He changes the notion of Passover from the Hebrew children. And where the animal, was the blood that you place now over your door. Now Christ is saying, now my blood is the blood. Christ says, I am the Lamb of God. I'm going to do a new thing. And not just that, but for generations to come, I'm asking you to come together and recognize the innovativeness of the ministry that Christ brought. That said that when you take this bread, you will remember my body. That I was bruised for your iniquities, this blood that opened up the doors of eternity. Behold, I'm going to do a new thing. It's setting aside, it's letting it know, it's letting them know, church, that for saints to come, that he will be with us through this process. You just got to trust. That's the hardest thing we have with saints, trust. Especially, when we get too worldly, right? Right? So see that special glow of glory, it cannot shine as much. We want God's voice to be noisy in us. When the world voice is louder than God's voice, then you're gonna have to get in church mode, right? You're gonna have to be praying mode, right? You're gonna have to be reading your word mode. It says something because look, when you are in God's grace, you will begin to see the attack and you'll be ready. You'll be like, oh no, I've seen this before. Okay. Greater is he that's in me than he who's in the world. Sometimes you just gotta get old. You gotta get old school and tell them, get thee behind me one. I see this coming right now. Right now I'm becoming insecure. I'm being attacked from every end. I got knives all in my back. I can't get thee behind me, Satan. Come on. Get thee behind me, Satan. Right, that's it. Look here. It serves notice, right, that this is the blood. Hallelujah. And it scares the demons and runs them ragged. That's right. Come on, 2 Corinthians 5:17-21. Therefore, if any man be in Christ, come on, what is he? He's a new creature. Come on. Old things are what? Behold, all things are become what? Right? It's ever evolving revelation. Come on, people. Look, this church is blessed to be able to have had people who have been here for years. You guys have been through I'm your fourth pastor. Right? There's those of you who remember Pastor Peanut, you remember Pastor Braden, you remember Pastor Landry. Right? Now you remember those saints who have passed on. If they came back today, would they see the same thing that they left? Would they? Would they see something different or something that we have built upon? Would they come back and say, man, I feel comfortable. This is just like how I left it. Come on, somebody. Boy, I tell you, boy, if Pastor Grady came back, I know he's going to keep me in the office a while. Now, that's the challenge on us, church. Whether it be People's or any other church in this area. Right? Do we run from the new thing? Do we take new vision and new opportunity and then disguise it and push it down with petty problems and petty challenges? Is that us? Is that us? Is that what we do? Right? We have to be able to self-evaluate and self-love. I appreciate, I've had so many of you, Pastor, we love your growth. I am so excited with that. But I have to say, now you have to look, are you growing too? I know. I mean, yeah, the terms I use, I know, it's stuff that rolls out of me. I don't even know where it comes. I told somebody, all right, I'll see you later. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. But it's true, right? Right? Look here. It's the challenge of being able to do it and move it forward. Here, look. Please know this, and we'll be out your way. Look, the change ways and new revelation, okay, it does require some work. It will require some blood, sweat, and tears. It has to. Okay? Because it's not something that's supposed to be easy. But it's something that's supposed to be doable. We can do it. But where God has us now, we can do it. Because it says we can do all things through who? Christ. Who what? Strength. Here, leave with this. Look. Y'all have seen that my son is about my size right now. Amen. This is really messing with me and my wife. Amen. Okay, I'm not. What happened to my little boy? Okay. Now, but it's nice to have my daughter. Amen. Right. And so when we go, I used to love, now when my son in the swimming pool, he don't even have to look back at us, right? But my daughter, she's still little, right? And so I still get a chance to hold her, and I can't hold my son in the swimming pool. Amen. But we can ride down that water slide and yell like homies. Amen. I'm sorry, friends. Amen. Here, let me share this with you. I'll be out your way. My daughter will see my son in the deep water, right? And she'll say, Daddy, let's go over there. Now, she knows she can't do it on her own. So she has to rely on her daddy. Right? Now, I get over in the deep water, I have to hold her up so her head won't go below the water. Right? There are times in which she may move away from me, right? But she never moves too far because she keeps a hold of me. Because in the deep water, she knows her daddy got her. Right? So wherever we go in the deep, right, she knows no matter what she does, her daddy got her. Right? I'm not going to let nothing happen to her. Even though it's a place where she ain't been, even though it's a place that she fears, a place where she hasn't gone, she knows that her daddy is strong enough to carry her even when the water gets rough. Oh, help me, Holy Ghost. God is telling us here that look, peoples, look, it's some deep water we got to go into. There's some issues that we really got to deal with. But God will hold us up through it. If we try to move away from him, he'll move with us. But we'll always keep our hand on something. Our hand on some prayer. No matter how far I go, God, I'm going to hold on to you, right? And even when the waters get rough and they get tough here, I know I've got a daddy that said, I will not leave you, nor will I forsake you. I got a daddy that said, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not fear. Look, I got a daddy that said that greater is he that is in me than he who is in the world. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. No weapon formed against me shall ever prosper. I serve a living king. People serve the king. Don't serve one another. We all Oh, in Jesus' name. Come on, let's praise God. Come on, let's praise God.